Good morning, everyone. We're on our Facebook Live. Good to have you guys here today. Like every week, every Tuesday, we're giving you guys free value. Then you guys see our classes and you guys to get a better understanding of who you are. You're on here because of you. You're not on here for me. You're here because you find something inside of yourself and you feel worthy of being and having a better life. And that's what we do. We teach people to do that. And just a reminder, every week, Monday through Friday, we have these classes helping you stay on track, stay sharp. And every Saturday, we have our Thinking and Results program and our Creator's Lifestyle. In the Thinking and Results program, we have this business matrix where we work with individuals that have companies, starting companies, or already in their companies or want to work on their companies instead of in them. This new program then we have, Creator's Lifestyle. It's a very comprehensive program that helps you get started on this information, helps you really start to understand the mind, understand your reality, and understand how to surpass the I don't knows. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And that helps you get started and get moving on the fast track to success. Now, we're going to get started today. We've been talking all month on faith and desire and what it takes to really go to where you want to go. I'm going to start off with we are energy. We are a massive energy, and we function on frequencies. A lot of you may not understand this because it's very foreign, but that's the way we work. You think, you get ideas. Thinking means imagine. We are walking around imagining all day long. We walk around, we imagine what we want to see, and we broadcast and we receive ideas, and we perform. That's a great fundamental part of our nature. We operate in frequencies. We think, which means imagine. We broadcast ideas, we receive ideas, we strategically move our ideas into form. Now, the majority of us really don't regulate what we're thinking, and we let the masses and we let the circumstances come in through our senses. And majority of the time, we're making choices from all those ideas. And in some great respect to that, that's the majority of way people's lives will be from the beginning to the end. They never really knew who they truly were. They really never really dove into understanding their potential, the opportunities around them all day long, their whole life. And for some odd reason, they really never get out there and create their life. And it's about time that you do that. It doesn't matter where you're at, what part of the world you're at, your age, level of education, no education. None of those things really matter. And why do they not matter? Well, when your desire is big enough, the facts don't count. And they really don't. A lot of you may think they do. And I've been faced at the point where it seems like everything factual around you is telling you it's impossible. But you've got to be impossible. This is where you've got to learn these lessons, not me. We work with a lot of people. We teach people, we teach businessmen. But if they're not willing to do the work, I can't help them. Why? Because you are the massive energy. I can guide you. I can teach you. We could show you the way. But you've got to do it. I could come in and interrupt things, but then it wouldn't be you. You see, this thing called life is about you. It wasn't about anyone else. You're the massive energy. And you're the focal point of your reality. And if you truly desire to become more and to be more, you have to figure this out. You've got to set goals and work towards those goals. We teach people about setting goals and how important goal setting is, as well as how important research, study, and understanding comes with setting a goal. It's by researching, studying, and really examining yourself day to day that you begin to fulfill something that was impossible. And I know sometimes we get stuck, and I know sometimes we don't want to hear that it's us. There couldn't be any other way. We've got a video here we're going to play, and Bob's teaching us a little bit on energy. Zach, can you put this on the screen?
We're a mass of energy, and we function on frequencies, okay? And if we take a look at ourselves in truth, if we were in a completely dark room in front of an infrared television camera, that's about how we'd see ourselves. As a glistening, radiating, gleaming form. Hold your hand up in front of you for a second. Just hold your hand up. And take a look at it. It seems solid, doesn't it? Feel it with your other hand. And it feels solid. The truth is, it's a mass of molecules in a very high speed of vibration. And if you take a look at the particle of energy, there's a greater space between the particle than there is in the size of the particle. Your hand, your whole body, is a mass of molecules in a very high speed of vibration. Now, the more we understand, I think the more of a risk taker we can become. Lack of understanding causes us to play it safe. As little kids, we're taught, it's better to be safe than sorry. That is not true. That never has been true. So bring this up again, Scott. Let's take a look. You're talking here about the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is an interesting concept. The law of vibration governs everything in the whole universe. There's no exceptions. The whole universe is the law of vibration affects everything. Nothing escapes it. Everything around us is vibrating. Everything's moving in one frequency or another. Well, the more we understand this, I think the better off we're going to be, and we're going to be in a better position to go where we want to do and do whatever it is we want to do. Now, if you come back, if you take a look at this, we'll say a frequency is a level of vibration. And there's an infinite number of frequencies. There is no end to it. Every frequency is hooked up to the one above and the one below. Now, I think it's important we understand this because each level of vibration is connected to the one above and the one below. Thanks, Scott. Now look at, they're all hooked together like the colors of a rainbow. If we can understand that in depth, whatever we want, we can get connected to it by getting on the same vibration. Think of this for a moment. Let's suppose you're in Singapore. Now, I have people in Singapore, I've got their number on my phone. So I could pull their number up, hit send, and bang, like that, I would have them on the other end of the line. We would both be on the same frequency. Time and space is sort of out of the game now. So it's like we're sitting beside each other because we're on the same frequency. Well, as we start to understand this, I think we eliminate the fear of the risk. Now, is there a risk? There is a risk because we're not really good at this, because we haven't done it very often. But the more we do it, the better we're going to get, and the better we're at it, the better we get at it, the more we're eliminating the risk. So put it back up, Scott. Let's look. Okay? Now, there's the X. Let's say that represents where you are. That represents where you are. Okay? Take an honest look at where you are in your life. Take a real good look at where you are in your life, and you're going to see how you got there. Okay? Now let's bring the lines up, and we'll get rid of the writing for a moment. And let's let those lines represent levels of vibration. We could also let them be representative of levels of conscious awareness. So each level, if we go back, as we raised our level of awareness, our whole world began to change. Now, let's say we left school, then we got a job, then we got another job, then we met someone, and on it goes. We're continually raising our level of consciousness until we are at where the X is right now. That's where we are. And that represents where you and I are right at this moment. Now, we're not satisfied with being there because we are spiritual beings and spirits always for expansion and fuller expression. So we say, that's where I want to go. Now, the problem is we don't know how to get there. And what we're doing is looking off into the dark. Is it all dark? It is as far as we're concerned because our consciousness ends at that line. Our conscious awareness ends at the line where our X is. That represents where we are. Now, we want to get there. We want to get to that new level. And because we don't know how, we generally let it fade. But we don't want to do that. I think we want to say, I want to get there. Okay? Now, Mikey pulled some questions up. Did you send these? Is Mikey on the line?
Mike is not here, but we have the questions ready for them.
Okay. Do they have the questions?
Yeah.
How did we arrive here? Well, the only way that we could arrive here you were thinking about what it is that you wanted. You've been thinking about wanting more. You've been desiring to achieve and accomplish more. That's how you arrived here. There's only one way. This morning, if you arrived live and you're watching this broadcast live, you arrived here because you desire to be more, to have more, to achieve more. And you're looking and you're working on yourself. If you arrive on it later on, then it was meant for you to hear it and see it. Now, we are always working from a place. That place of consciousness is what's taking us on down the road. And on down the road could be where you would like to go. Or it could be just more filling space, filling time. What would be filling more space and time? What would that look like? Well, it depends on what you've been doing before. If you really haven't done much and accomplished much in life and gone very far, well, you've been just filling space and time. With what? Your memories. What else could you be using? A lot of people really don't understand this. What else could you do other than fill space and time with your memories? That's all we can do. Here Bob was talking about wanting to go to a different place, but yet we see nothing different. And we don't know how to go there and what to do. And because we don't see how to get there, and we've ran out of our level of awareness and our intelligence, we really don't go much further. Now, let's take a look at this. We have this picture here. This picture is what we call the stick person. We use this so we can understand the mind and how it works and how to really create the life we desire. On the top, here, these are the senses. We live and we pick up information from these antennas. Right now, you can hear me. Some of you are listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening. The people that are listening are going to get more emotionally involved with the people than the people that are hearing. And the people that are listening will take more from this lesson than the people that are hearing. The people that are listening are at a higher vibration than the people that are hearing. As you pick up information from your outside world, this is 3D down. This line down is 3D down. Everything that happens from here up is 4D up. We do not see what's happening 4D up. The average individual cannot see what's happening 4D up. It's beyond the senses. But we can feel our bodies, and we can feel the instrument of the mind, which is our body. This body feels the energy that's flowing through it. Now, a lot of people are looking for this law of attraction. The law of attraction is a secondary law. That's being fulfilled because of the primary law, primal law, which is law of vibration. You may say, well, what does this mean to me? Well, it means that the way you're thinking is setting up a vibration. And this hits the center of the core of your own being. And as you think, you send a vibration to the body picks up the vibration. And as it picks up the vibration, it sends it to and through you. And what do? You act. You move. You feel. Law of attraction is a secondary law, and this is what you pick up from your outside world. You're moving through time, but as you move through time to meet other people, yourself into the future, you can see yourself in the past. What surrounds you? The vehicle you drive. Who attracted that? You did. The amount of money you earn. Who did that? You did. All of your friends, relationships all around you that you're more close to. Who attracted all them? You did. The house that you live in? You did. You see, you're the center of your own being. What does this mean? Well, you're the cause. Those are the effects. You're the cause. And again, let's look in the past. Let's look at the past you. The same thing. Let's say you were 20 years of age. What did you attract? The car, the house, rental, home, whatever it is. Let's look at your friends. You see, you can never get away from yourself. The amount of money you're earning, all these things are secondary processes in the law. Therefore, the only thing that we could adjust or fix or work on would be the thing within ourselves. When you truly, truly understand what I'm saying, the only thing that you can ever adjust or change is something within you. Everything outside of you are happenings. This is happening. That is happening. They are happening. Why? All because of you. Relationships, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the husband, the wife, all secondary results of the way you're thinking. And without knowing it, you're putting yourself on a plan. Chain of events. Why? Because we are a broadcasting and receiving station. You say, this may not make too much sense right now. But if you go and look at the past and you look at everything that you were thinking about in your 20s and how your mind was setting up a chain of events, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. What was Bob talking about earlier? About thinking and going beyond your goal. We make decisions to go to a goal, but then we don't go and do them. Why would we make decisions to go and not go and do them? Because we don't see how to get there. Why do we not see how to get there? Because we've never done it before. And if you've never done it before, the average individual stops. And if you stop every time, you don't go very far. Let's look at this again. The brain versus the mind. The brain is a motor. It is the mechanical part that moves the body into action, transmuting ideas into motion. The brain is a motor. It is the mechanical part that moves the body into action, transmuting ideas into motion. The body is the instrument of the mind, taking orders from the brain. Clearly understand that the brain can only move according to the mind, which is unseen to the human eye. But visible action produced from its originating source, your thoughts. This is what we were just talking about. You just can't get away from yourself. I'm going to read this again. The brain is a motor. It is a mechanical part that moves the body into action, transmuting ideas into motion. It's going to transmute your ideas into motion. Brain, electronic switching station. Ideas keep flashing on the screen of your mind. What does the body do? Transfers the information into action. The body is the instrument of the mind, taking orders from the brain. Clearly understand that the brain can only move according to the mind, which is unseen to the human eye, but visible action produced from its originating source, your thoughts. The brain is an electronic switching station. It is a broadcasting and receiving station. When we think, we send out ideas. When we think, we send out ideas. When we think, we imagine, and we go beyond from where we're at. And this is unseen to the human eye. And we receive in return like-minded information returned from the ether. Creative imagination is receiving thoughts. Creative imagination is the receiving set. When you begin to become more creative and you begin to imagine beyond, sort of what Bob was talking about, going beyond where you're at, and he's saying you begin to think and you have no clue how to do it. And if you sit down and you really begin to imagine, you start to pull ideas from the ether. You start to pull ideas, radio waves are moving into the unseen world. How did Edison illuminate the world? He had to have been thinking about illuminating the world. And then he received like images to come back to him, to do the thing that he set out to do. Creative imagination is a receiving set. Einstein said that the imagination was creativity having fun. Einstein also said that the field controls a particle. When you go into the ether and you can think from that place, you can bring down these ideas that change the world. Edison proved that. The Wright brothers proved that. Tesla proved that. What did they prove? That it works. What works? We work. You work. It is a broadcasting and receiving station. When we think, we send out ideas, visions, and we receive in return like-minded information returned from the ether. You see, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. If you keep thinking of poverty, you're going to keep getting impoverished results. If you start thinking in riches and earning money, and if you keep thinking about how you're going to do that and that there is a place, same mind, if you can control it, will quickly and automatically begin to gather ideas on how it can be done. If you keep thinking I'm stuck and you're in fear and doubt and worry, your brain and your mind needs order, so quickly and automatically it goes back to what it knows how to do. And you're back on course with what? Who you were supposed to be. But that's not who you want to be. We receive in return like-minded information returned from the ether. Creative imagination is the receiving thoughts. It receives thoughts, impulses sent out from the dominant thoughts. This is why we don't get what we want, we get what we are. This law of attraction, the law of vibration, they're one with another. I think, therefore I am. How many people I see praying around the world? They don't even know what prayer is. Prayer is the unseen cause. But are they praying correctly? Are they praying are they using their feet? That'd be called faith. Are they praying? Are they praying, just help me? Edison didn't say, just help me. He said, I'm going to illuminate the world. I want to harness light. He didn't just say, help me. saying, help me, and just making a noise between your legs. There's no direction. What do you want? Right, brothers? They didn't say, just help me. Help me what? The problem is not God. The problem, we made God in our image. We think he's got to do things the way we want him to, and it's not the way it works. What do we have here? Creative imagination is a receiving set. Creative imagination is receiving thoughts, impulses, sent from the dominant thoughts. You never focus long enough to go anywhere. Majority of the people don't even decide to go anywhere. Majority of the people don't even know what they want. Why? Because they don't think it's possible. And if they don't think it's possible, they're not going to get on the receiving set to receive what they want, because they're getting, it's impossible. If they don't think it's possible, they are broadcasting a vibration that says, I don't want that. I don't need none of that. And therefore, what is it that they get? Nothing. A whole bunch of nothing. My God, are we understanding? Why did Edison illuminate the world? Because he went there to illuminate the world. We have no clue how powerful we are. And we use very little of the power that we have. Einstein said the imagination was creativity, having fun. He said we honor the servant and we have forgotten the gift. We must direct our thoughts. This means the mind. We must direct our thoughts. This means the mind. Master the mind, master your reality. At the end of the slogan, at the end of I am mastermind, it says, master the mind, master your reality. Everybody that reads, I received the vision, I am mastermind. That this would be the name of the company. I am mastermind. That means each and every individual is a mastermind. He's just not aware of what he's doing. She's just not aware of what they're doing. But if you master the mind, you will master your reality. There's only one thing you could ever master. It's not out there. It's not in him. It's not in them. It's not over there. It's in you. We must direct our thoughts. This means the mind. Thoughts are like GPS to definite ends. They always are. Thoughts are like GPS to definite ends. To receive direction, which will come back to you in plans and visions. Thoughts are like GPS to definite ends. They receive direction, which will come back to you in plans and visions. Some of you get out of work and you think, I'm going to go to the gym. To definite ends. Some of you get out of work and say, I'm going to go watch TV. And there you go, you've landed. Somebody get out of work, I'm going to. What is the imagination? What is thinking? Always taking you to definite ends. But rarely do you really imagine what you really want. You normally just imagine what you think is possible, and you go there. This thing is a high power, massive energy, but we use it very limitedly. We just think, I'll go do this, and you go there to that definite end. I'll do this, and you go there to that. Once you arrived, then you see. You view the world from that place. But very few are really going anywhere. All day long, there's no real definite end. We're doing things all day long, but there really was no real definite end because they never really made the decision that we're going to go there in the first place. They go from here to there to over here and really don't accomplish anything all day long, just traveling through time. Just traveling through time. What's traveling through time? Consciousness. The gift. But you're not applying it. What's traveling through time? The only thing that could. Your body is three-dimensional. You see that. It's the physical part of your nature. But the reason the body's floating through space and time and you see it in memories and in actions is because the mind was taking it there. The gift was taking you there. You're using it constructively, destructively. You're using it on purpose, or you're just human doings. Human doing this, human doing that. Thoughts are like GPS, always to definite ends, always waiting to receive directions, always giving directions, which will come back to you in plans and visions. The body is a machine driven by the brain, guided by the mind. Guided by the mind. Who is my imagination? Who is my imagination? They gave you a name. They gave me a name. They gave him a name. They gave her a name. For some odd reason, that's all you think you are. Some odd reason, that's all you think you are. Let's start by understanding what the mind is. The brain transfers and receives information, and the mind is what creates and moves things into form. The mind is where thoughts are created and where the imagination is put into formation. The brain is what sends neurotransmitters throughout the body, and the body moves into action according to the information going into and used by the mind. The information that comes into the mind comes from the ether, the outside world, or frequencies that you can tap into. You can walk up to somebody and you can ask them a question. You can go to someone else and ask them for advice. Or you can keep going to the same people that you surround yourself and try to do something different. And you'll notice that nobody ever really does. Everyone more or less stays the same. Unless you're going to a completely different group. Who am I? Who are you? Here we are again. Here we are with this box, this filing cabinet, from which we think in secret, and it comes to pass. The environment is but our looking glass. And this is why we keep getting up at the same time, going to bed more or less at the same time, because nobody's really regulating and telling this body where to go, and what to be. Nothing really entirely new. If the mind does not change, if you don't make a decision, there are no permanent results. Why are there no permanent results? Because the automatic program is already hooked up. Automatic, subconscious mind is already hooked up. Transmuting its ideas. Creating the law, not my law, the A law you call your identity, your level of awareness. That is what's creating your reality. And that is what's creating mine if we're not aware. This thing single-handedly drives the body through space and time. And becomes what it is. Einstein said we've forgotten the gift. We could have had so much more. We could achieve so much more. But if you don't change the way you're thinking, you don't change what you're doing, you stay more or less the same.
In my mind of making this studio. Well, the more I talked about it, the more I thought about it, finally I got together with someone, and then I found out what it was going to cost, what we had to do. And, well, we've got it, we're in it. Did we take a risk? Yeah. Yeah. The man that was building it, I didn't know if he knew what he was doing. Okay? He seemed to be pretty smart to me. He had done some other work for me. He was pretty good. So I had to take a risk in getting the person that I chose to do it. But I was taking a risk in even building this. The company was taking a risk. Sandy was taking a risk. She was writing a lot of checks to do this. So you keep thinking of these things. What you've got to know, when you build the picture of where you want to go, the risk is caused by ignorance. And the more we study, the more we eliminate the risk. Now, the more we study this material, the more we remove the risk, but we keep going where we want to go. What's in time in your life when you took a risk and created positive results because of it? Well, I can think of a number of times in my life. And then, how does the idea of taking a risk make you feel? You know, a risk will do something to you. A risk stirs energy inside of you that causes you to really look at where you're going and what you're doing. Now, I'm going to tell you about a risk I made years and years ago, shortly after I started to study this. I was always working at dumb jobs. There was an ad came in the paper, they were looking for firemen on the fire department. I think it was something like 20-some thousand people applied for the job. They were hiring 21. I knew a person that lived a couple of doors from my mother that was a magistrate. He was like a judge. I went and asked him if he could do anything to help me. I think he was impressed that I asked him. He got on the phone like that. I was one of the 21 on the job. I should have never gone on the job. First of all, I wasn't qualified. I didn't weigh enough. I was underweight. I didn't have enough formal education, but because I knew somebody. When you say it's who you know, well, there's a lot of truth in that. I was on the job. Now, I worked there for 5 years, and it was almost like we were retired. But then I started to read this book. I was working 7 days and 7 nights a month. And when I worked nights, I could go to bed. We'd make our bed, go to bed. And I started to read this, and I wasn't satisfied sitting around the fire hall. I wasn't satisfied going putting out a fire periodically when one started if I was on duty. I wanted to do something bigger and better. And I got talking to somebody, and he talking about earning money, and he was talking about cleaning offices. And the more I talked about it, the more I got excited about it. I was building an idea in my head. Well, I was going to go into my own business cleaning offices. To do that, I had to quit the fire department. This was a choice job. Very few people could get the job. Now, there's some people wouldn't want it, but the socioeconomic area I was in, everybody wanted it. And I quit to go and wash floors. Everybody thought I was crazy. But you know, within a year, I had 10% of the fire department cleaning floors for me. In less than 5 years, I was cleaning floors in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, London, England. I was earning over $1 million a year. Did I take a risk? I did. Did it work out right? Absolutely. Now,
if you listen to all of that and you go back to the beginning, Bob's talking about taking a risk, using his imagination, using his mind to go beyond where he was. And if you notice, the thought preceded a thought, preceded a thought, that preceded a thought, that preceded a thought, that took him into a different plan. You know how many people never risk working on a vision? They never risk. They never take the risk, and it's really not a risk. It's a new direction. They never take the motive to become somebody entirely new. They never bet on themselves. They don't work on goals. They work on broken promises all around them. Conditions, circumstances all around them. The thought preceded a thought that took him completely off the track where he was going. That's what a goal does. Setting goals, setting a vision, working your goal, working your vision, takes you off track to a whole new world, a whole new kingdom. Teaching these classes, learning this information, set me on a completely different track. Set me beyond where I would have ever have gone. I say it was meant to be. I know it was. Is it meant for you? Is it meant to be for you? Do you feel something inside of you that you are meant for more? Meant to be more, meant to have more, meant to achieve more? Is it meant for you? Have you ever felt a little bit different? That you are different than others? Is it meant for you? That for your eyes to see something they would have never seen before? Or are you supposed to just to live the way you are? Or are you supposed to just to live the way you are? I know the answer to that question. The real question is, do you? Take a look at what we're doing. We're helping a lot of people. Next one could be you. Get signed up to our classes. Send us a message. Be seeing you guys next week. Have a wonderful day.